Hey guys, Doug the retirement guy here. A big question in retirement is how to not run out of money when you go into retirement. It makes everybody panic and freak out. It is so funny that most financial advisors don't even get this. My personal financial advisor doesn't get this. So we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper and explain to you how I explained it to my financial advisors for him to understand we're on the same page. Before we get into this, though, I want to really thank you for watching these videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. We're putting a big push on subscribers. Also, click that like button. And also, if you have any questions or anything, leave a comment down below. Let's get into today's video. The old way of doing this is what they call the 4% rule. Now, you probably have a lot of you heard of it, but never understood what the 4% rule really is. The 4% rule is you take your retirement amount on the day of retirement and times it by 4%. That is what we call your base. Then use a figure for inflation anywhere between 1 to 3%, and then times that by your base income by that inflation rate, and that gives you what we call the adjusted retirement income. So the example is if you have $1 million in retirement, you're going to times that by 4%, which gives you a $40,000 a year income. We used a 3% inflation rate in this scenario. So times the 40,000 by 0.03, which is 3%, gives you a $1,200 added on to each year after that. That's the maximum amount of money that you are to pull out of your account at any time, any year. So that's what you work with. So year one, you're going to get $40,000. Year two, you're going to get $41,200. Year three, you're getting $42,400. And that's your money. Easy peasy, as they always say. Easy, set it, forget it, we're done, out the door we go. Well, here's what the 4% rule does by a financial advisor. And I enjoyed this when when I met my very first financial advisor. We went through this. Well, we're going to invest into a 60-40 plan. 60% secure stocks, 40% bonds. The goal of them is to grow your funds between 5 to 7% so you are safe. You're gaining 5 to 7, you're pulling 4 out, you're beautiful, you're set. Plus, what they don't tell you, though, is they get paid on the fund balance, not the performance. So in times like we have today that the funds are all dropping, these stocks are slowly coming down because of tariffs and all these other issues, he's still getting his full money, and you now got to recover because you're only working off of a 4% rule. So here's the example that the financial advisor would put you into. $1 million again, 60% in the stocks, going to get you about a 5% average. 40% in the bonds, going to get you about a $400,000 invested, going to get you about a 4% return. So your fund will generate $30,000 in income from stocks, $16,000 from bonds for a $46,000 a year gain. Now you take your 4% out, you're golden because your fund gained $6,000. It's what we call set it and forget it. A financial advisor gets you signed up, puts you into a certain box. That's what you're safe with. That's what you're all comfortable with. And we set it and forget it. And every year we sit down and talk, well, you had a good gain. You had $6,000 gain this year. Oh, wow. Deal with it. Now the issues for the old way is simple. Not once did they ask you how much money do you need to retire, or do you have enough money to retire? What happens in bad times like now? You're going to eat into your investments because you have set yourself up to getting that 4% every year, day in, day out. In good times and bad times. Good times will make up for the bad times. Bad times are going to eat into your investments. I have a friend called Pilot Steve, 62 years old. He is retired. He's taken his Social Security at getting basically $1,612 a month. He has $1 million in retirement account, and he has a cost of living of $5,000 a month. But when we sit down and did the 4% program with him, Pilot Steve actually needs to work longer because he needs to have $1.2 million in the bank to do the 4% program. Okay? Once you take the $5,000 a month less his Social Security, that leaves him with a balance that he still needs more money. Do the 4% rule, he needs $1.2 million to get into retirement. So the new way of retirement with money is this. We call it the dividend bucket system. You put your money into one of three buckets and you make money from your money and you make your money work for you. The way I've always explained people is you have to make your money as employees and make those employees work for you. The first bucket we use is called emergency bucket. This is for medical emergencies, car emergencies, real emergency issues, things that you did not plan for that you got to get yourself out of a jam with. Income bucket. It's probably my favorite bucket out of them all, but this is where you budget your cost of living, you invest your money into guaranteed income supplies, you put it in safe and secure markets, and you live off of your income bucket. And then the final bucket you put things into is called the growth bucket. This grows your funds, okay? It's a higher risk, and you readjust every single year, okay? So you're going to put money in this bucket. You're going to get higher return rates. You're going to put a little more risk to it. The market goes down. Your bucket's probably going to go down a little bit. If you have great years, your bucket's going to overfull. And so what you do is you readjust your buckets into your income buckets. And if you used your emergency funds, you readjust into emergency funds. Or if you didn't have any emergencies, which is what I like to say, is you can take money from the emergency bucket and roll it into the income bucket. So you're constantly able to adjust what you want to do and how life is going. Now, let's talk about each bucket. Emergency bucket. The money you put into here is for emergencies only. Not everything's an emergency. You do not put money into this and then all of a sudden, well, I'd like to have new floors. That's an emergency. Or I'd like to get a new car. That's an emergency. No, we're putting money away as that rainy day fund. Like I said, you're walking out, you trip and fall, you break your arm, you're going to have medical bills. You're going to have some money here to cover it. Now, in this bucket, you put no more than 10% of your retirement fund into it because we're going to invest this into a low risk, rewarding fund. So emergency bucket, 10% of $1 million would only be $100,000 put away. Now, I would invest this, just to give you an example, would be this Charles Schwab SWVXX. It pays 4.17 on the money that's invested into it. Think of it as your standard old-fashioned savings account. The cash can be withdrawn within 24 hours, and you rebalance this thing every year. So if you go 12 months without emergency, you're going to pick up $4,100 of additional funds that you can take and roll that into something else. Not big money, not huge things to worry about, but it's nice positive cash flow that you have. There are a lot of them, so I'm not pushing on Charles Schwab. Fidelity has one. Charles Schwab has one. There's a lot of companies out there that have funds very similar to this. But the emergencies we talk about, transmission goes out in your car. I don't think anybody here ever plans on their transmission to go out. No one ever plans on breaking a leg or an arm. These are unexpected things that you're going to put your money to. The next bucket is the income bucket. This one I love to no end. This is my favorite bucket out of them all. But what is your monthly cost of living? No one ever asks that question when you go into retirement. They always ask that same thing. How much money do I need to be retired? I don't know. What's your monthly cost of living? You work backwards into funding it. But you should have no more than 60% of your total funds into this bucket. If you do have to put more than 60%, you need more money in retirement. You need to grow, or you need to cut your cost of living. We're going back to Pilot Steve. As we told you, he was 62 years old, taking his $1,600 in Social Security, $1 million in the bank, $5,000 cost of living per month. So his cost of living $5,000. He takes away the Social Security guaranteed money. He's into $3,388 is what he needs. Okay, we take Steve and we put 60% of his funds into this bucket. So that's $600,000. He needs a 6.7% return of guaranteed income. So as a simple math you do is take your cost of living, $3,388, times that by 12, and then divide the $600,000 into it, and it'll give you 6.7% return, and that's what you need to find. Now, I can tell you straight out, just from all the videos that we have done, these 4 funds will easily cover Steve's request. JPI pays a 9.11% dividend yield. JEPQ pays a 13.31. PNNT pays a 15.19. And SPHY, which is a bond fund, pays 8%. Now, we've done videos on every one of these. So look in the description below and you'll see each one of these. We'll put the video in there so you can click on it and learn about each one of these funds. But overall, just having one of these 4 funds, you're going to cover your 6.7% return. And you look at the security and safety of it, PNNT, A+ for dividend payout. SPHY, A+ for their dividend payouts and into their bond funds. Same thing with the other 2. Now the growth bucket. You put 30% of your funds into the growth bucket to keep your money growing. So why, you ask, why am I in retirement? Why do I have to have my money continuously grow? Well, it helps fix market corrections like you're seeing right now and inflation issues that we saw 4 years ago. Okay? Every new presidency, every new leadership is going to bring problems or issues to what's going on because they want change. Okay? Our tariffs are causing some issues. But saying with that, it's not saying companies are bad in their performance. We don't know how to deal with it. Before we were coming out of COVID and prices of everything went up because everyone was demanding these different things. This is why you have a growth bucket to continuously grow your funds. So if you put 30% of your funds, that means $300,000 is now into growth. Now, we're going to show you where you can get an extra $24,000 a year minimum if you follow the right package. And the funds that we chose right off the bat to show you, and again, we have a video on this, but it's the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF VOO. The returns over 1 year was 8.2%, 3 years 9.03%, 5 years 18.55%, 10 years out, 12.46. Plus, as a bonus, it pays a 1.5% dividend. Now, why do I show this one? It's clear what you need to do. If you're going to put $300,000 out and we want this to grow and do development, you want to find a fund, an ETF that you put your money into that is not big numbers year 1 or big numbers year 3. You want to look out as far as you can. 10 years is what I always say. At 10-year mark, they have seen the ups and the downs. They've seen 2 different presidents coming into office and making their adjustments. We have had the COVID issue. We have had the housing issue. 10 years is a long span in the financial world. And if someone can pull out 12.46 over a 10-year mark, they're not going to worry a little bit about the adjustment of what needs this year's happening. They're going to make it up down the road. and this is what you look into. That's why I say this is a great fund to put money into for long term to get the money out. The $24,000 a year is coming from the first year of 8%. But if you did the other way, you'd be at $36,000 if you're using the 10-year average. So the old way rule of the 4%, you need more money to retire, and your money is not working for you. So you're living basically from your money as it slowly grows. The way most financial advisors will set you up, it slowly grows and you'll dig into your money as you go. But the new way of living off of income gives you more options to make your money work for you, requires less money to retire, and ensures a stress-free life when the markets drop or go up. I will tell you straight out right now, my money took a major drop. And if I was worrying about my money investments through this whole past month or 2 months, I probably would be jumping off the ceiling, off the roof. But because I'm living off of income, my money hasn't changed. My money income has stayed the same, and I've been living stress-free without even worrying about it. As the markets catch back up, it will catch back up. This is how we make Pilot Steve comfortable on his beach enjoying life. Guys, this is Doug, the retirement guy, and if you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Man, we're getting close to that 3,000 subscribers, and we're loving it every day. Don't miss any of the videos that we do. And if you have any comments, click down below, put it in there. Good, bad, or ugly. We'll read them, we'll respond, and we're here for you. Everything is trying to help this channel grow because we want to give you the information that you need. And thanks for watching.